Yeah.
There's probably a price to my heterosexuality, right? But I gotta get paid in handsomeness.
The Russian roulette version of Eliminate. It's the exact same premise, except one of the four is a hitman sent to kill the girl, and she has to eliminate the hitman and not be stuck with him at the end or get killed.
It's like Among Us, but with making out.
Yeah. Like some dude might get lucky, or you might die. I don't know. It's all a mess. Quentin Tarantino's Eliminate.
This is probably a disgusting joke, but I'm going to still throw it for a lob out there. What does Matthew McConaughey say during a gangbang? Airtight, airtight, airtight.
Nice.
It's not. Yeah. That's for all our disgusting fans out there, a.k.a.
I thought he would say,
ouchie,
ouchie, ouchie.
Ouchie.
That's one of those good jokes to do the punchline having nothing to do. Like, what does Matthew McConaughey say during a gangbang? Al, stop fucking me. Oh, no.
Ow, you're
this is uncomfortable. This is way too many dicks. Oh, God, I'm Matthew McConaughey.
I was watching
I am way too high for this.
the Funny Bot episode on South Park, and I forgot how genius of it was, where it's just like the Germans are doing the joke, and they're just like, knock, knock. Who's there? I'm cannibal. I'm here to murder you. Bastard. I will murder you. And joke. And
See, what's sad is I get it.
That episode,
and I want it to be funny.
That episode is amazing. I like when it's just like, I would not touch Adam Sandler's dick with
Roseanne's ball sack.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those mid-era episodes that I have no recollection of them.
Oh, it's
like there's like first 5 seasons where it's clearly shot on like videotape and shit like that, and then it looks good for finally, but then there's the modern era where it's all Randy episodes.
I love South Park, even stuff they've been recently making, but from like season 8 to season 17 is a fucking Renaissance golden age.
Oh, basically ever since it's serialized instead of being single episodes.
Oh yeah.
But that
everything from Soda Sopa and oh my god, PC Principal is like one of the greatest things on television.
Oh yeah,
was
amazing. The 2 South Park games are basically like 2 South Park movies. Like they're wonderful, but just you can't. That season,
those. I need to get those. Are they fun?
Yeah. Stick of Truth is better for like a experience, because Stick of Truth was the first one, and they're all their fantasy characters, and it's like a role-playing game. The second one's their superhero one, but they use so many of the tropes already in the first one that's the bigger cinematic experience. But I like the gameplay better in the second one, because you get to play with like 4 of them on your team at a time, and it's like grid-based, and they have more little dynamic, and I love all their superhero personas. But yeah, I recommend both highly.
Here's my question as the Fairweather game fan. A lot of times games that are based on a property or a franchise, like Spider-Man games I'm great with, because Spider-Man's awesome. But like sometimes if it's too specific, like South Park, like is it going to make me get tired of the franchise or tired of the show?
I don't think it was written by and voiced with Trey and Matt in the South Park studios. So it's it's like
you're playing an episode, basically.
Right. They made 2 South Park movie style games. Like it's
that's all you got to say then. That's practically like saying it's canon.
Yeah,
it's its own thing, but
you play as a new kid who's moved into town, and so. And it's not just that you're playing their fantasy characters. They are playing the fantasy game, play pretend throughout town.
Okay.
So you're fighting like the 8th graders, and it's great because you're like fighting hobos, and they're acknowledging your dumb medieval powers, and that Butters is a paladin and stuff, and it's great.
Oh no! I figured it would be just be one of those cheap platformers like the Walking Dead games are.
No, that's because back, if you remember the N64 and like first PlayStation era, there were a bunch of shitty South Park games like that.
Yeah,
I remember because that's the last time that I did any serious gaming.
And Trey and Matt hated those and would only make more games if they were hands-on with it to make it a game they would want.
Well, and it seems like the way they work, like they always want to do the hardest possible way of doing a thing.
They do.
It seems like it's in their wheelhouse to want to make the game that way too.
And it's great because they tried to make the game. I've watched some of the little behind the scenes, the documentaries, because they made them with first they made with Obsidian, who's made just some of the best role playing games, and it's all done by like Ubisoft. But because when you watch like 6 Days to Air, they work on an episode and then Trey will just be like, fuck it, we're doing 3 new scenes here, doing this, tell the animators to change this, and they're like, fuck, and they're up 4 a.m. They try that with like Ubisoft, the video game developer, and they're like, Trey, it takes us 9 months to fucking make a video game. We have to have a bunch of guys program it. Like, what do you mean that scene's not in it anymore?
Yeah.
He's like,
Plus he's saying it in Korean.
Yeah. It's really funny the way they were like, yeah, we were the worst people to work with for this company because we just are always evolving and 200 more script pages. Like, fuck, just get rid of all that. We're going to put this in now. And then we'll send it to Ubisoft. And they're just like, okay.
Oh, yeah. Well, like if 1 year passes, they might have like a completely like a Mr. Garrison change to a Miss Garrison or something.
Yeah, I mean, Stick of Truth got pushed back something like 2 years when it first came out, because it came out I think in 2014 or something like that. Maybe it came out in 26, something like that. But it got pushed back a little bit.
I might even have to dust these off just if it's more Matt and Trey Cannon. Should.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they voiced it all. It's great. You get to play with some of the, especially one thing I like about Fractured But Whole. Also, I love that.
I love that name.
I was watching Trey talk about it. He goes, they wanted to call it the butthole of, because you're the same character in that one. That game stops exactly where Stick of Truth left off, and they're like, all right, we're done. Let's play superheroes now. Like, and so it's a whole new, and everything you built up in the previous game is gone and means nothing. You're not king anymore. No one respects you again. Like, because that was all just part of that game. So you're a fucking new kid loser again. You have to start over. Like, they won't let you play superhero with them. But you have a superpower butthole, basically. All your powers are fart based.
Yeah, I do.
You start doing like time stuff, and you want to call it the butthole of time, and then the people at Ubisoft are like, you can't have butthole in the title of a game that's coming out of a shelf at Walmart. Like, they just won't let you do that. He's like, fuck, okay. So once they told me that, I tried. Like, I'm gonna get butthole on the front of that box. He's like, how do I do it? He's like, butthole.
Like you said it about them and their story, and I heard in my head, challenge accepted.
Right, that's exactly what it was. I've been doing a lot of deep dives in Matt and Trey. There's this channel that puts up just all these weird interview clips from like basketball and stuff like that. And I found a commentary from the South Park movie. At one point, Matt Stone stole the trailer for the South Park movie from the studio so they wouldn't air it. He said the studio went to show them the trailer, and they said their entire philosophy, because the South Park movie got done when they were like season 2 or 3 of South Park, like 99, 2000, and they just assumed that was just going to be the end of South Park. They're like, whenever a big franchise hits this point, it's in all the stores, a movie comes out, and then everyone fucking forgets about it and it goes away. So he goes, we just thought this would be the last South Park thing. So that's
plus it's animation, so it's hard and expensive.
Right. So like, we just thought this would be the last thing. And the studio goes, they showed us the trailer, and it was awful because it was like a Rob Schneider, like record scratch stops before the jokes and like everything they hate. And it was going to air before some major movie. And Matt Stone took the trailer, put it in the trunk of his car, and left town so they couldn't do it. And it was just like, yeah, our lawyer called. He goes, our lawyer will stand up to us for anything. Like they'll ride or die. Because you got to be Trey Parker's lawyer, man. Like, that's hardcore. And he goes, and he called. It was like, you got to return that studio property, man. You can't. Like, I could buy you some time or whatever, but you can't just put that in your car and leave town. Like, that is not okay. But he got it away from that window they wanted to air it. They did a new trailer. I was like, that's just some punk rock shit. I love the way Matt and Trey understand.
Oh, dude.
They are essential to everything they do and do it on their terms, and they can't, like, they just won't do it otherwise, and you just can't. Right. Because what are you going to do, fire them from South Park? Like, you can't.
Yeah. See, what's funny to me is that story actually reminds me of now here's me going back to my being a movie nerd. Charlie Chaplin did the same thing with one of his movies back in the 1920s, City Lights. He had to cut it in a hotel room because he was having to hide it from his, at the time, gonna be second ex-wife who was suing him. And it would have been one of the commodities he owned, and so he didn't want her to wind up with the money. So he edited the movie in a hotel room and like stored it in the trunk of his car and would have to like sneak around town with the film print so that his 16-year-old bride's mother couldn't get the money from releasing the movie.
So by re-editing it, did that change the movie? Is that why, or how he got around that? Like, how did he?
Oh no, it just simply was. It was simply keeping it out of the studio's eye and like not letting people know that it existed until his divorce trial ended.
Oh, until that was finished. Yeah.
Yeah. You just keep it, literally just keeping it off the books.
Yeah.
But like it was the 20s, and so you could do that just by like putting it.
And
under
you can marry like
overcoat.
16-year-olds and shit. Like
yeah. Like Bugs Bunny logic still applied because it was, you know, you're 10 years removed from the Wild West.
It's weird to think about how not that long ago the Wild West was really.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had this conversation recently.
Even in the 1900s, and that blows my mind.
Right,
like certain areas of the country, 1900s were fucking Tombstone. You know,
like my grandparents' parents saw Old West shit, and then like it's this far removed from virtual reality. Like it's just those.
With Cameron Crowe?
No, I mean just like the tech gap of such a window of generations.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's people that were alive that like were born in a covered wagon that watched the space shuttle on TV.
Your great grandmother banged Jesse James.
If only.
Yeah. Not even the bandit, like the guy with the motorcycle on TV.
Like my dad gets weirdly whimsical about seeing video game technology because he's like, man, I remember just Pong. I remember two little pixels go boop, boop. And he's like, and I remember that was we're like, that's the future, man. This gay ass Tron shit. And he looks now and he's like, man, we were so dumb back then. Like we thought that was cool. Like turns out like within the span of decades, we just crushed that.
Well, I mean, and for how many years removed is he from us? What, like 20, 30? I don't know. I have no clue how old your dad is.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's probably pushing 60 now, something like that. Well, late 50s, like 50s probably.
Like, I'm about to turn 40, and what I think of as like my baseline video game years was like the arcades had Frogger and stuff, and Gyrus still in them.
Like when you see on King of Kong when everyone's at the arcade playing fucking Pango and like Ladybug and stuff. Yeah. And, like no one's playing Street Fighter. Because I remember watching
That's the exact place I would have gone as a kid.
I remember watching that anytime I see like those kind of arcades, and I'm like, because I think when I think arcade, I think Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat. I think like
that was the 90s.
Yeah, and I think that arcade, like when the arcade is like, you want to spend a quarter to play Galaga? Like, nah, not really. Like those games that are so
Galaga's my shit, man.
They're just so like that era of arcade were so impossibly hard. You just feel raw, like Centipedes. Like, cool. What am I? Pew 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 pew. Oh, my game's over. All right, well, I put another quarter in real quick.
Yeah, but also
back then it was a brag to say that you only played one quarter all day.
Right. But,
so there's that. All right, but look, the same nerds, just different games, right? So like back in the day, Galaga nerds, they treated it like a sport, and if somebody was really good at it, people would like crowd around and be like, "Oh, this dude's legit" or whatever, right? It was like a badge of honor and almost a competitive sports brain, right?
Yeah, well, it is like on in the first Tron movie. I remember seeing there was banners at Flynn's for like the Zaxxon League, and that's one of the dumbest games to have a team for. But there you are.
When I think arcade,
but in the 90s, you had those Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 2 motherfuckers that would just run train on everybody. They were the same kind of nerds that Galaga would have been. You know what I mean? It's just a different era or different.
And then
game.
I guess I also think, and I don't remember which one's first because they're a very similar time lapse, is the multiplayer beat 'em ups, the Golden Axes, which would lead to like the Simpsons and the Ninja Turtles arcade, like the Konami.
I would say Gauntlet would be the first one of that.
Yeah, Gauntlet's the first one I think of.
I mean, the ones that like I remember like seeing like, oh cool, it's like I like think Golden Axe a lot because that's what
Golden Axe,
excited about.
Like I never the gnome, the girl, and the beef and the Conan.
I was never really I never hit like the Double Dragon. I never saw Double Dragon arcade much. Like I think that of Nintendo more than.
I did. I remembered that, but I remember.
Yeah, we had that one at Metro North, so I'm pretty sure that we played that one. By we I mean Jason and I.
And then because I I started caring about arcades less when they started becoming the rhythm game machines, the Dance Dance Revolution.
And the rides, like the Jurassic Park, sit in a Jeep, get and bounce around.
Basically what Dave and Buster's is now. Like
the last game I played like that I crushed was Top Skater.
Yeah.
Like I remembered every move because I worked at the arcade at Sega Station at the casino, right? And so I'd be bored and I would play fucking Top Skater. And I knew every that and the Star Wars trilogy game. I knew every move,
I used to be able to play
that game.
I had top 7 scores forever. I crushed everybody because I knew.
For a short window of time, I could almost blindfold the Star Wars trilogy game. Like It was. It just became habit. Like it wasn't even fun to play. It was so mechanical. But I was like, I know.
Just over here. It was just muscle memory after a while.
Yeah, it was just so people. It's just to do it so some people would watch and be like, oh man, you'd be like, yeah, you know.
Yeah. There was a long time.
That was loser.
That was the only game that a lot of places would have too. Was the Star Wars trilogy game and like. Maybe either Virtua Cop or Lethal Enforcer.
One of those House of the Dead kind of games.
Yeah, one of those gun games, basically.
I remember putting the trilogy together, and I was like, oh, like when we got it delivered, you know. House of the Dead games, Time Crisis.
One that would always kick my ass if I sit down on one of those Star Wars trilogy ones and the stick is inverted. Oh my god.
Fuck that.
That was a crapshoot. I don't remember which way I like it, but I sat down on one. It was the opposite, and I was like, I can't.
It's dead.
No.
Yeah. We got pretty good right now. Like if I sat down, I wouldn't be as good as I was back then, but I bet some of that memory's still in there. Like
hardest part is the hardest thing to not get hit on. Is that part of the second Death Star when the 4 interceptors are in the corner and they square it. It's so hard to get all 4 of them before you get shot. I remember that vividly.
Look at those, knock those out first.
The whole game was me building up to that screen to not get hit there. That was what was going to determine if the run was perfect or not.
Yeah.
And this is just making me nostalgic for the old sit-down, like, 80s Star Wars game.
And that game, you want to get your dick kicked by an arcade. Like, I can watch Star Wars.
I was 4 years old at the fucking Showbiz Pizza getting my cock hammered on that.
that game and Donkey Kong were the two that were just, like mean hard.
And it was frustrating because it had all the
Donkey Kong could suck my dick.
It was frustrating because it had all the cool Star Wars sound effects.
And just holding the control stick.
But even though it was still like this, and then it's still like, oh shit, that's from the movie. Yeah. This is real life.
Yeah, that's the first time you realize without realizing how that John Williams is basically a god. Like he can make sounds that just influence your emotions on something. Like you hear the John Williams music and you're in the thing like, I am a spaceship now.
Oh, dude,
he's really important. But you know, as a composer, he's but he's made like all the iconic. No, I'll agree with you. His music is perfect for those movies. He knows how to. Match the So, but any hoodles.
So I came with a story today. Do you guys want to hear it?
Oh, that's how all this started because we were talking about how laundromats are already a bin for.
I'm just happy that you came. You know, I mean, good for you. I think everybody should at least once a day, every other day. You know, just clean the pipes.
Once in the morning, once at lunchtime. I have to go get the item for the reveal at the end. I'll be right back.
Oh yeah. Pee break, and then yeah.
Oh, all right.
I don't know how to start this because if I start as vague as possible, that's how it started for me. So
it's just a laundromat somehow gets involved. Why are you going to the laundromat?
To wash my fucking clothes because I'm poor.
Well, you know, I understand, but I just didn't know, like, if your apartment had a facility that
I love paying $2 for chips.
I just hate when I have quarters
still have that pack.
I
remember going to the laundromat when we were a young family and the dryer and shit was broken, so we had to go down there. But I was a kid, and at least they had a Miss Pac-Man.
And just you wait, Miss Pac-Man figures into the story.
Oh, nice.
Oh, but no. My apartment complex, like they have machines, but you have to have a swipe card, and you have to like get a swipe card, and you have to give them money to put on it, but they don't take debit cards. I don't. Yeah, your facial expressions are a lot like how I view it.
They basically don't want you to use their fucking machines. Is what's up. Like that's like they're making it as hard as possible for you to do that.
And if you do make it past all their hurdles, you're paying more in the long run. Yeah. But so there I was washing my clothes like a poor person, and my clothes are doing their thing. So I've got that 40 minutes of waiting.
Being dirty or being clean. Yeah, those are the only two options your clothes have at that point.
Yeah, and they weren't
hopefully
doing
not on your body, and you dunking into the machine and taking a ride and bath
so
at the same
sweet.
time.
Like it's like that machine they have in the locker room at the baseball stadium. It's just like a big tub with ice and a boat motor in it. But so there I was playing some Miss Pac-Man on the machine because for whatever reason, 2 plays per quarter. Can't beat that.
Upright or cocktail?
It's upright, but it's one of those ones where you can pick between 6 games, and the control stick's like super loose, like almost unusable loose. But
I don't like a loose joystick. I want it fucking firm.
No, regular.
That way I can grip it.
Too is it's not just Miss Pac-Man.
Tickle the back of my throat.
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. It's that version of Miss Pac-Man that like you can tell they put the add-on board to make it a little bit harder, because like the ghosts don't do the ghosts will actually corner you. It's not programmed to like be a little soft on you. But
ghosts, man, like seriously, like is there like I mean, with all the problems in the world, is nobody bringing up ghosts like right now, like and really dealing with this problem, because they're pesky assholes, is what I'm saying. Like
fucking seriously, dude.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Inky,
and Bustin makes me feel good.
No. Right? Yeah. Why are you keeping me from busting, Ghost? All I want to do is fucking bust.
Yeah.
Oh.
These balls stay empty. You know what I mean? Fucking ghost cock blocking my bust.
Just trying to fucking gnaw on some power pellets, dude. Come on.
Dan, did you ever watch, when you found that one Neil Ciceriega video, did you ever watch the Bustin one I sent where he did the re-edit of the Ghostbusters video? It's so fucking
Bustin'. Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't believe I saw that one. No, but I will be
we'll
looking
watch it in a minute. After your story, we'll do that.
We don't have to watch any of that here because it's just it'll brighten your day. His whole catalog is fucking banging.
Oh no, he's a genius. What I've seen, it's just he's hard to look for his stuff,
right?
Because he names it, in a camouflaged way. But anyway, so. I clearly put off a nerd vibe, I guess. I got glasses, man boobs, all of that. And I'm playing the only video game in the place. And so there's one other human being in the entire laundromat. Mom looking, I'm not busted mom, not hot mom, just a mom. And she rolls over while I'm playing the game.
Was she like a 4 or 5 on the mom scale?
On the mom scale, she's right down the middle.
So like 4 or 5.
I can take or leave it. I can see myself going either way. But but either way, I'm playing it cool because it's Miss Pac-Man, so I don't want to lose, so I don't really look up. And she says, "Do you like Star Wars?" I mean, I don't have a T-shirt on for it or anything, but now I didn't know how to engage this, so I figured. Okay, for those playing, today is the 5th of May, so yesterday was May the 4th.
Right.
Which is apparently a nerd holiday because it's May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
And so you're supposed to buy more stuff so George Lucas can get another yacht.
Star Wars as an entity has made it like their E3. It's the day they release new information on upcoming series and new trailers and new toys and stuff. They've kind of made May 4 the official Star Wars day to release things and stuff.
Yeah.
So do you see how Christmas happens, you dumbasses? Like, it's,
That's it. It's basically one franchise got its own holiday like E3. Like,
I mean, no such thing as bad press, I guess.
Yeah.
But that actually makes a lot of sense that it's a release day for them. And you'll see why here in a second. Because so I didn't really want to engage this woman because I'm at the laundromat and she's probably like up to here with crazy. So I just kind of like, I like the first 3, I guess I like the movies. Still not looking up. She doesn't let me even finish what I'm saying when she just goes on to say like, okay, well, my kids are big Star Wars fans and I got them this for yesterday because apparently it's a big Star Wars day and they didn't want it. And I'm just going to throw it away. Do you want it? So I'm still barely paying attention because, as you guys may know,
this is how the drug dealers work, right? They give you a sample.
Oh yeah, don't think that didn't pay
and
my
you're gonna
radar.
come back and buy fucking rare like Star Wars comics and shit. Like you're
Yeah. No, that crossed my mind. Is that's one of two scenarios. This could most likely is that she stole this minutes ago and is trying to offload it on me.
It's hot. She wants to pass on. It's hot. She's like, yeah, just make sure. Yeah, there's no serial numbers on there. It's all, just don't worry about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, and it's. I live in Independence, Missouri, so draw your own conclusions. But
everybody wicked.
Or the other thing is that she's trying to hit on me, and I don't think that's really happening. So I look over, and it's just like she's basically put this item in my hands while I'm playing an arcade machine. So I'm losing my quarter, so whatever. And
losing my chub.
I want you guys to know that you can tell I'm burying the lead real deep here, and I'm going to keep doing it for a second.
Yeah, but honestly, wait, let's hold up. You said something though, and I kind of want to revisit that. Why do you think that she wasn't trying to hit on you?
Mostly her method.
Because here's what I see. Like, maybe in her, quiet guy, just on his own, confident, just has a good demeanor. Doesn't seem like she's got a knife.
Miss Pac-Man.
Destroying Miss Pac-Man looks safe, right? I let him munch my box a little bit. Mm-hmm. Sick of these kids.
And she's wearing one of those sweaters that's like a sweatshirt with a college name on it that she didn't go to, and is like vague enough it might not even really be a real school.
Yeah, like an outlet
that's just
mall.
Not usually
like
the type that gravitate towards me.
Yeah, it says collage.
Plus, like I said, it's a laundromat, so I just assumed the craziest way is how it's going to go. Well,
could have munched your box. That's all I'm saying.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm trying to play it safe these days, Yeah. COVID and all that. But I can see why her kids didn't want it. It's in a little rough shape, and pretty much you have to hold the box one certain way, or else, because every single joint in the cardboard is snapped or broken or torn.
All right.
And it's got glass inside, so it's going to break. But because I said yes to I like Star Wars and her kids were above this amazing, amazing antique find, you guys know I like, look at this. You guys know I love fucking antique stores.
You like
right?
shit. Yeah. I mean, I mean, like cool shit, like your old shit. That's, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why when she handed me this,
you know what I mean?
When she handed me this beautiful piece of Star Wars memorabilia, I'm now the proud owner of this Star Wars memorabilia.
That's also funny. Good. I got some fucking original series there. That's
the thing too, is I see this constantly at comic conventions, at antique shops, at
for
thrift
like
stores.
$60, yeah.
Everybody's fucking got this. I didn't pay for it. I didn't want it, but I own it now.
And she thought it was Star Wars.
And she thought it was Star Wars.
For her kids, and her kids were probably like, "What the fuck? Do you even know my name?" She's like, playing on her phone, like.
But my favorite line from Star Wars is emblazoned right here. I'm a doctor, not an engineer. And here it is. Chewbacca.
Yeah, I was
Now my only gripe is I would have wished that there would have been a Han Solo cup, which was just a red Solo cup.
I think
because that's what a real scoundrel would have drank from.
No. I think Captain Kirk is Han Solo. What do you think? Or is it right?
Huh. I mean, pretty much, because he's slaying Tang and not following.
Tang is the only characteristic. That and kind of smart.
The thing is, if you go back and watch old Star Trek, the original series, I did a walk through it when Nimoy died. I was like, I don't want to go take a look.
I never have. They were just always kind of on at the tax place that my parents went to.
And
this tiny shitty TV.
The whole idea we have of Playboy fucking rogue, doesn't play by the rules, wild card Captain Kirk is 100% the product of the movies after the fact. Like, original series Kirk was a pretty level-headed, he bent the rules a little here and there, but he's not really the character that people kind of popularly attribute to him to. He's kind of got this interesting cowboy sense of morality. I mean,
Did that happen in later seasons?
He messes around. I mean, there's only like 2 seasons of the original series. They're just big, like 40-episode seasons.
Yeah. I think there's like 66 episodes total. I think maybe something.
But
like that.
and he does mess around some. Don't get me wrong. But like that idea of this all sort of came later for like the wild card, rebellious, like fuck everything, anarchy, Captain Kirk. Like
yeah. Like to me that's like the Wrath of Khan Kirk,
right.
The one that kind of comes up in impersonations.
Yeah, he's much more just like a kind of, and it's because the era the show was made. He's kind of a cowboy, like it's kind of because the whole structure is he is the unflappable middleman. Spock is logical but unemotional. Bones is completely emotional but doesn't operate with a sense of logic. Kirk has to mediate. That's the entire show, like that.
Yeah.
That's the premise. Is sometimes you need the humanity of Bones. Sometimes it's lean on the cold reason of Spock.
I just want to be Captain Kirk so I can occasionally make out with a black chick. You know, like
just occasionally. Like yeah. Sometimes a green one is.
Or permanently. I'll take what I can get. You know, I've never done it. It's a bucket list thing. You know.
Have you ever done a thing and you're like, man, that's gonna be a thing right after you do it?
Actually, no, I have made it. Never mind. So I've crossed that off the bucket list. I have.
Matt, are you asking that about the making out with the black chick? Or
well, I was gonna say because that's like the first televised interracial kiss. So in William Shatner's head after shooting it, he's like, that's going to go on TV, and I'm going to hear about this. It's one of those, when you do a thing, and you're like, I'm going to hear about this when this is late. You're like, what's this? And I always wonder what that was like. He does it, and he's like, all right, we did it. And they're like, cut. And he's like, that's going on TV.
But also, times are changing, and that's an important step in pop culture. Like, I think, it's a move in the right direction. But yeah, I'm
not saying right or wrong.
But him at that time, being the age that he was, with all that bullshit in his head, was probably like, oh fuck, like,
He's just like, can't wait to see where this is going, like. And I've just always wondered that, like, whenever you do it, for good or for bad, when you do a thing, you're like, that's gonna have ramifications.
And he seems like just the kind of guy to have that kind of like chutzpah to be like, yeah, first interracial, yeah.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, William Shatner is a pretty big douche. Like, the classic Star Trek is a bit of a family, like, the way but he's always kind of the one that was tolerated, it feels like. But like Nimoy and them. Nimoy really was the heart and the glue to all that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
He's my favorite of the original Trek cast members.
Now, talking about, have you ever listened to any of the albums he put out of music?
No, I mean I've heard bits here and there, like I've heard the Bilbo Baggins and stuff like that, ones that float around, but I've never like picked it up. I've seen the video where Magic Rock teaches him how laser discs work.
Oh, that's a new one for me to look for.
Where he's got the mustache and like a little rock. Like,
oh yeah, that was like early '80s, right?
And he's like, you're telling me it's a giant disc that projects movie quality sound and picture digitally. Like, a little shiny rock teaches him about laser discs.
Huh. That sounds awesome.
Let's play this.
I want to hear this.
Ray Parker Jr. Here we go with Ghostbusters.
Can you shut the gray screen up at the top right?
I love how immediately there's Klan imagery. He just knows. He just knows how to edit when your ear expects something else.
I know. But it also works on its own.
Right. Oh,
it's kind of a dope song. If this is the first time you heard it, you would love this song.
Oh yeah. Like the original version is so kitschy because of its advertising nature that it's
Ray Parker Jr. is the shit. He played in Shaka Khan, dude. Early Shaka Khan with Shaka Khan, Rufus and Shaka Khan. Get those albums. They're amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, even the story of how this song came to be is pretty.
He's a guitar player for Shaka Khan, and
Yahtzee uses
Yeah, I remember reading that originally they wanted to use Huey Lewis's "I Want a New Drug,"
Yeah, they basically did
but
that
they couldn't afford it, so they hired Gray Parker Jr., who was a session guitarist, to write a song just like it. Oh, boy,
He fucking crushed it. This is infinitely better than fucking.
Knowing
Ghost
that
Man.
fact, when you hear the hook, you totally hear "I Want a New Drug" too.
Man, baby.
I mean, you can even credit this song as part of why Ghostbusters was so memorable. Like,
Oh, yeah. It was constant marketing for this movie, right? Every
Like,
piece of
constantly
media.
on the radio.
Dude.
I remember seeing this on MTV,
Yeah, every
like
piece
so
of
much that I
media
would
you
leave the
consumed,
room because I was sick of it.
you were getting a commercial for Ghostbusters. It was a fucking thing.
I mean, like
It was
all
like
of
89 Batman, you know what I mean? That was plastered everywhere.
Yeah.
Invisible thing.
But like so many of the lines, like
Hold on,
that, I
It's after the second.
If nothing else, I'm impressed with how many sources of video he has of Ray Parker Jr.
love the feather.
I ain't afraid of no sleep. I ain't afraid of no bed. An invisible bed. Freaky ghost bed.
But like every line you think of as iconic from Ghostbusters is like in this song. I ain't afraid of no ghosts. Who you gonna call? Like it's all from this.
Well, I feel like this came at the beginning of that wave of, I don't know if it's the movie or the songs, where the movie would have a song over the credits that has lyrics that summarize the movie you just watched.
Right.
Oh, yeah, Wild Wild West,
Dragnet being the best. in my-
Dragnet, Men in Black.
This is also the era where the movie also got a borderline unplayable Nintendo game.
Yeah. Atari game was kind of good.
Oh my gosh, if they could have gotten this right, like proton packs and ghosts and containment units. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. There's some fun games. There's like a Robotron style game, like a double joystick one. That's
Did you ever play the one that came out in the 2000s that actually had the cast voicing in it and stuff? Highly recommend. Big
Like I
recommend.
heard about it once and then never heard about it again.
It came out.
pretty cheap on like PlayStation, so I think I could just pick it up for like.
It's got all four of Bill Murray, Harold Ramis, all four of them are in it. Boy, it's basically Ghostbusters 3, and it's got all of them in it. It's so much fun. It keeps a property damage tracker of how much shit you destroy when you're shooting your proton packs around.
Oh,
and stuff.
sweet.
You play the new rookie recruit they hire, so you'll be running around with Winston on some levels and like Ray's on your headset and stuff. And it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. It's just called Ghostbusters or Ghostbusters the video game. Even if just for another installment of Bill Murray voice work, and especially now Harold Ramis is gone, he voices Egon in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definite recommend if you haven't played it. You can just get it on Steam or whatever. Just play it on PC or. It came out. I know it was on
Or
the
just
Wii.
watch somebody else play it on.
I mean, you can. It is.
No, I kind
fun
of want to
play.
experience it.
You get a whole bunch.
Yeah, like
of
on
different-
PlayStation, I've seen it. It's like I don't know, $8 or something.
They keep inventing Egon and Ray keep inventing new weapons. Like you have the traditional proton pack and you get the slime cannon, and they start making weird hedron colliders. And there's one that shoots a slime tether where it sticks to a ghost, and you can stick it to another ghost and slam them into each other or into the
Nice.
That
walls.
sounds cool.
You can start really good at slam dunking them into your traps and stuff. You start getting more gizmos to play because they hire you on to test their new volatile gear, basically. And you get to
Guinea pig it.
they find excuses for you to go to the scene, or you go to the same hotel where they fought Slimer in the first one.
Oh, right,
Oh,
nice.
Cool.
Blow that one up, and you got to run up and down the place. It's a lot of fun. It's really great.
Is there a level where you have to go through the public library?
I think
That was
so.
cool.
I think you at least go to it. I know there's a Mr. Stay Puft level. One of the very first things that happens to the game is Mr. Stay Puft runs rampant, and just because you got to have that, even though
Well, that's actually kind of ballsy to cash him out immediately, in the first.
well, because
Real
it's they're trying to move the story forward, but it's one of those they got to check off the box and put it there. So they're like, oh, he escaped the containment unit or something, and you have your Mr. Stay Puft level. Especially because most people buy a video game and only play the first 3 levels, so you put that in for those people.
Yeah.
Because the bigger plot of the story involves Ivo Shandor, the guy who built the building in the first Ghostbusters.
Oh, right. The evil dude, yeah.
Yeah, the architect who built the building to be a portal to Gozer and stuff. It's about that guy. Yeah, it's great. What's the line where he's like, they don't make them like they used to. No one ever made them like this.
Yeah.
The banter in that. I mean, Ghostbusters is one of the best movies ever made. Like,
I always thought it was cool that apparently Dan Aykroyd's actually really into real ghost stuff.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like real stuff thrown in. I guess I guess it can be real.
He's a big paranormal weirdo. Like the original versions of Ghostbusters are like nonsense. Like
by original version, you mean like
his scripts he brought to the table. Like his idea
out there.
I mean, I've just heard him talked about, and in their like commentaries, because like. Part of the charm of Ghostbusters is, they're busting ghosts, but they're basically blue-collar exterminators, and they're
they're dudes like us.
Like his version was they were from the future, and it was way more sci-fi, and like because it was way more Dan Aykroyd-y, and having to work with Ivan Reitman and the rest of the team and make it plausible for their budget and what they could work with.
They have to be middle class.
Right.
Egon is the exception because he's the weird scientist, but he's still yet hanging out with these schlubs.
Part of the fun is that they're just trying to start a business, and they don't even really like the fact they saved the world is absolutely incidental, and they're not cool badasses.
It's fucking Jack Burton in Big Trouble in Little China. Like he does nothing that whole movie, and like he kind of has zero.
That's part of what like the Ghostbusters remake missed was they tried to make them cool and badass, and like they were never cool or bad. They fucked up everything.
Yeah. It's almost like the opposite of Spider-Man. Like they're the opposite. I don't know. It's almost like Spider-Man, and they're saving the world day in day out, but they can't pay their fucking rent.
Yeah.
Like nobody gives a shit.
Well, like Peter doesn't even want to be a ghost. Like he's everyone's favorite character, but you would hate Peter Venkman in real life. He just wants to con people out of money and have sex. He actually doesn't care about anything else.
He's a fuckboy. He is
the worst. Like, he's the sleaziest dude.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The best example of like the schlubbiness to the is. Of who they are is when they go to the building where Gozer's at the top, and just the whole like I don't know, the people are chanting for the Ghostbusters, like fuck yeah, with the Ghostbusters. Then it smash cuts to them like 15 flights of stairs up, going, like they're not badass, they're not cool.
Oh yeah.
They have no like the ghosts are treated seriously in Ghostbusters. They're never jokes. They're always legitimately scary and treated as a real threat, and they're not joke ghosts.
Even Slimer was scary, but even though he was adorable, right?
He didn't become fun until the cartoon, because Ghostbusters 2 was referencing the cartoon so much, because at that point that became the thing. But in the first one, he was just a weird green monster. They weren't friendly to him in the first one. He was just weird looking.
Yeah, just a big fat thing stuffing his face.
Yeah.
But, so here's the important question about the video game, though. Ghostbusters, the video game. Did it have any female characters?
Janine is in it.
Nice. Well, she doesn't count.
I just mean like
as long as there's no female Ghostbusters, that's all that absolutely matters.
I mean, Annie Potts voices herself in it.
Dude, no, but also, Janine honestly checks off a box in the movie boner category of
that
mine.
Is true,
okay,
yeah.
So.
Annie
she was
Potts
obnoxious.
Also in designing women. Yeah, she could read the phone book, and I would have a half-mast.
Janine, see that
like a hero died.
My boner's observing. Yeah, my boner is currently observing
is that
Prince
what you
Philip.
Call a hero died.
See, for me, it was more. For me, it was less movie Janine. It was cartoon Janine with the spiky red hair and the big weird glasses.
Same Venn diagram though. Like same world though.
Because for me, it's the voice. It's the voice every time.
It was they really fucked over.
I know I'm in the minority here, and I like pineapple on pizza, but I also like Fran Drescher. Like it doesn't.
Oh, dude! Before the nanny, she was a smoke show. I was back and watch Spinal Tap and watch her in Spinal Tap. Oh my god!
It's Spinal Tap and UHF. Oh
yeah. Oh, and UHF. I forgot she was in that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, but before she went full on cartoon with her personality, yeah, she was like that New York Jersey girl hot. Obnoxious
Tomei.
hot, I guess you'd call it, but that's still a thing.
Or, like a Marissa Tomei style. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry. Heroes are dying all over the place here, Matt.
I thought it was weird in the first Ghostbusters that they had that relationship with her and Egon, and then in the second one they just threw it away so she could make out with Louis Tully, and I always thought that was a weird move.
Well, you kind of feel bad for Louis, but you wanted him back because okay, who brought the dog? You know, like
I mean, it's just weird that they became like a. It's weird that they became like a thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean that's kind of beyond a point. You have to take the two oddball characters and scoot them together eventually. I feel like that's a trope of the '80s.
But they had already just established her and Egon in the first one, and just didn't even they just sort of rewrote it. Like, I mean,
is Egon really the kind of guy that can sustain a romance, though?
You would have to make a movie where that's in the story to know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, let me go write that. Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 did not care. So Ghostbusters 2. I like how in Ghostbusters 2 you can see the pure reluctance of people to be in it. It's really funny.
Wait. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Finish your point.
So Bill Murray's the best example. Like, he's never wearing the Ghostbuster suit till the very, very end. Mm-hmm. Like, there's the scenes in the sewers and they're in the lava, the slime, and he's just like, I will be at the restaurant wearing a suit. I will not be, but you can have them wear the big dumb backpack. I won't be there for the scenes with this thing. Like, he was never he was so under protest through that whole movie.
Well, Venkman as a character is almost one of those that you can play headcanon games with. Like, kind of like how if you watch Friends and pretend there's no laugh track, everybody's a sociopath.
I mean, you can.
Watch both Ghostbusters movies, especially the first one, but pay attention to what is Bill Murray actually doing. He doesn't do anything. I mean, but
you can. It takes away from it. It takes away from it when you know that's why, because the actor has said so, that he didn't want to do the movie, did it under protest, and had very strict stipulations of what he would and wouldn't do. Bill Murray was like, there doesn't need to be a Ghostbusters sequel. This is a bad script. We're just rehashing and not doing anything with it. I don't want to do it. And he was basically under protest.
Yeah.
Because you can headcanon anything.
I mean, even in the first one where he's, to whatever degree wanting to be there. I mean, I agree with you, yeah, but then I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
This will be a great episode because it's about nothing.
So Ghostbusters 2, right? The Rick Moranis, Annie Potts, Janine, right?
Yeah, Janine Meltz.
Janine, yes.
Right. So Egon, they were trying to establish a romance there, which you thought was going to happen, or it was just like an unfulfilled arc, little tiny.
I thought they kissed at the end. That's movie for it worked.
But
did they? I don't remember.
But
I almost got more of the impression of just like a quick fling, like one might have had, an office fling.
Is Egon, the smartest guy of all of them, the only one who did not, in fact, bust? It goes.
They all, well, at least all the three non-Winston ones did, because they all three get their dick sucked by ghosts in that one scene.
Well, Dan Aykroyd gets a dick sucked, right?
They all three roll out of the bed.
Bill Murray's laying pipe all over the place.
Oh,
so
dude.
That's just, his balls are always empty. I would like to think.
They all three literally.
I think what they think. Winston would go home to like a really lovely wife and be like, "Oh God, you have no idea what my day was." He's getting on the reg or whatever, married.
I want to see the Winston at Home spinoff.
Yeah, I think that was Family Matters.
That was always funny.
I don't mean to sound racist.
That was always funny, like in the cartoon, because they all four just lived at the firehouse 24/7 and didn't have families or go home or anything. Like you just live there forever. You're always on call. The Ghostbusters would need like 70 people on staff at any given time.
And rotate them. Yeah.
Right.
I'm working for a month. I'm off for a month. Like firemen do. Like
all four, and sometimes Janine gets to go home, and the rest of them just because they just would sleep at the firehouse, and they have their pajamas there, and they just have dinner there, like they're just four roommates.
I just got the impression, at least with Ray, with Dan Aykroyd, that his character was at least a little bit, man-child or less. Like he's permanently on slumber party mode anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I would even wonder if he sees women romantically because he's still like in that Legos and ninjas phase.
But he's getting his dick sucked by ghosts, though.
But yeah, by ghosts. I mean,
I was wondering if that scene was.
I mean,
just
dudes like that
ghosts.
want to get their dicks sucked by anime chicks too. Doesn't mean that they're really into real women.
I always wondered if that was like.
Good point.
If the point of that scene was like the ghosts trying to get them to not bust them, like I will suck your dick, just don't put me in the containment unit. That's
I don't want to go to prison,
yeah.
dude. Don't send me. Yeah, dude, send me to ghost jail. Are you insane?
Because
You know
it's
how
really a
crazy that
horrifying
is?
experience for the ghost. Because you're just like, I am now just forever live in this box.
Yeah, I'm just in eternal torment.
Even
We're
though-
having a great time. We don't know. We're assuming ghosts have ill intent.
Even
But
though
maybe ghosts are just
in
living their life, and were they assholes?
in the first Ghostbusters,
He was a prison punk in a former life.
Also, in the first Ghostbusters, they weren't actually ghosts. That was like one of the weird little things that gets lost in the plot of the movie. They were like interdimensional beings from the portal that was being opened by Ivo Shandor. Gozo was a Mesopotamian god or Babylonian god. And these were extraplanar beings, not the ghosts of dead humans. That's why they were monsters.
So this is more like Ancient Aliens type shit.
Right. And then when you get to Ghostbusters...
This is fucking Necronomicon shit.
Right.
Evil Dead shit.
They're not, because there was not any instances of ghosts in the world, really, like in the plot of Ghostbusters until this started.
The library lady, though.
This was starting. These were starting to spill over and spill out. But yeah, she was a dead librarian or something. But the core plot is that the ghosts are as a result of this interdimensional god coming to our world. And that's what's causing them.
That explains why Ray Parker Jr. wasn't afraid of ghosts, because there weren't any.
And the second one, they have things like the river of slime makes ghosts that are the dead.
No, it just makes everybody mad, and
but it also makes
because
ghosts.
the mad makes the ghosts.
Remember in the court scene, the judge and then the Scaleri brothers come out of the slime somehow.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, I remember back in the 50s when I sentenced these two cartoons to death. Why did you look ridiculous? We're in a courtroom in New York, and all of a sudden you got these goofy like, bumble." That threw me off. Like Ghostbusters 2 threw me off with that. I was like, okay.
Weird. And then like Vigo is tied to the river of slime, but never directly because Vigo
was actually kind of terrifying because he has a human form and he's ancient and blah blah blah. But I'm saying the Scarelli brothers.
Yeah. Oh no.
They look like cartoon idiots, and like it threw me out. I was like, why do they look?
I just always thought it was weird that Vigo has his plot tied to this river of slime plot. Did Vigo know when he was in ancient Mesopotamia, or was it he was Carpathian?
Vigo's the Carpathian.
That there would be a river of slime in New York that he would be working with.
Yeah.
Like the plot's so muddy.
It's pink. His least favorite starburst.
Also, this is an unpleasant ending to consider, but Vigo's plan had no viable end game.
No.
So he was going to possess Dana's baby and grow up and have
under her tutelage,
and take
under
over
her
the world.
like sucking on her titty. Honestly, I love Sigourney Weaver as much as the next guy. Like I've seen Alien. We've all seen Alien. We've all posited around that. If you're in the VHS area, every time she's at the end when she's
my tape makes a
yeah, we know what's up. I'm just talking Sigourney Weaver's titty, but like to go into a bait, like it's like that's a long way around. You might as well just like mail her a letter or.
But also like
something, and just hope that works because.
This is going to sound like a harsh answer to the plot, but once he is the soul inside a baby, that baby is very easy to defeat and stop from taking over the world. Like he's not Vigo with magic powers. He's a literal baby.
Also, you're in an undeveloped brain, so you're going to have to learn your ABCs and shit, and then just hope,
baby, right?
hope that this kid is aware enough of lizard brain and doesn't have the like mental fortitude and emotional intelligence to not be a dickhead.
Isn't that why he has that Renfield guy with him to like make sure that the baby doesn't get?
Yeah, but it was Peter McNichol. They took him out because he's a fucking idiot. But then he also possesses Ray at the end, and they shoot him with the slime. So he could have possessed an adult, maybe, I guess.
Yeah, a genius level adult at that.
At any time, and his head was big and weird for no reason. And then they shoot him with slime and shoot the picture, and that blows it up. And then it's replaced with a painting of them, like a Renaissance painting. That's a really bad movie, by the way.
That's a terrible movie.
Ghostbusters 2. Great scenes. There's some scenes I love in Ghostbusters.
It's very memorable. Some fantastic stuff. Like when they're controlling Statue of Liberty, it's very like, it is cheesy, but it's like I love that's kind of a cool
the banter in the first part of the movie before they're Ghostbusters again. Like I know Bassmasters, like those the straightening the Slinky, and those dynamics are so much fun.
I didn't understand why they had disparate like jobs. Like Venkman was a TV host for like public access, and like, you know what I mean? I was like, wait.
And how in 5 years,
superheroes after the last one, did the work dry up? Like
in 5 years, no one believed in ghosts anymore.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty New York to me.
Like pretty American. A giant marshmallow man literally manifested on the streets.
There's evidence. There's people like debating it or all of that. It's on the news constantly.
It was also weird.
It was also weird. Even today, you can go on into conspiracy websites, and people will tell you that 9/11 didn't happen, that it was just hologram planes and shit like that.
Exactly.
And
so
that
there
was
would be
20
those
years
assholes
ago.
like trying to be like, oh, their Stay Puft isn't real. Look,
Some
you can tell
people will
photographic
say
evidence, right?
Some people
the concrete
will say
wouldn't
that.
support that much weight.
Yeah.
Some
Not that much
people,
marshmallow. Look, here's a and they're doing like home model kits. Like, here's a marshmallow. All right, let's say like per capita, and trying to do bullshit science like a flat earther.
The thing is,
but then marshmallow on the building. See, it doesn't hold it. Yeah, there's clearly video of it. It's all doctored. Stanley Kubrick directed.
There are
Stay
some
Puft Marshmallow
people who
news
say
footage.
that shit. The public at large doesn't, though. And in Ghostbusters 2, the public at large has stopped believing, not just weirdo skeptics.
No.
Like, because they have to reset
what I'm saying
status
is,
quo.
the
other weird thing,
offshoot of that.
The other weird thing is that Winston is still even involved. Like Winston, if the Ghostbusters industry collapsed and the Ghostbusters are now, because there was a whole joke about how they got hit with all the fines for all the damage and it destroyed them and stuff. Winston could have just gone and got another job. He doesn't have to do birthday parties with Ray. Because he was never that much in.
No, he
Well, I
doesn't.
mean, he was there for
not
job
part owner.
security. That was in his interview. Was he wanted job security?
Well, that doesn't mean once it's no longer a secure job, he can go be an electrician.
He would have bounced. See, he's a guy moving around job to job. Like he's a hustler, man. He would have been in somewhere else.
I mean, he's pardon my saying so. I'm not trying to be racist by saying so. He's an African American gentleman of working class, in the mid to late 80s on the East Coast. I feel like he's probably white knuckling any job that he gets and just.
Well, but he can get a better job than Birthday Ghostbuster.
Yeah,
because he's got the skill set. Especially if you were a Ghostbuster.
He's got the skill set. Yeah, he's had like a lot of like in the first one. Like
he can drive a forklift.
I would hire that motherfucker. Yeah, he's got other skills other than busting ghosts or not busting ghosts.
And he was never married to it or anything. Like he didn't have any control. He wasn't one of the
no skin in the game.
Like he didn't sign any pay. Like when they get
sued,
fill
out like a W-4 and like whatever. Like
when the Ghostbusters get sued, Ray
cash out my vacation, bitch. Like I'm out.
Maybe they had him under contract. Maybe it was like a 5-year or something like that.
Like a 1099 employee or something like that. Like,
maybe the buyout is so
okay,
huge.
hold on. Let's go on the internet. Can we find Winston's tax returns from that era? Like, can we?
Yeah.
How did he report? Like,
Oh, that was all cash. You know that was an undertaking.
Yeah, again, Peter Venkman was a founding member of this business. On paper, they're a fucking hot dog cart.
Yeah, they're a mailbox in Vermont.
Yeah. The P.O. box in a South Dakota like fucking trailer park.
Yeah, and all 4 of them are a quarter Native American, so they get mailed peyote for some reason.
My favorite parts of Ghostbusters 2 is actually the pre-Ghostbusters. Like, I like when they're digging in the street and they're just like, the phone lines are over there.
Phone lines over there. Where you going? Yeah, I was like, that's a good
lines are over there.
Yeah.
I got a major gas leak here.
Yeah.
All those shit. Because their banter is great. Like, the chemistry just between those 3 dudes is so good. That's what makes
the train, the ghost train that goes through Winston in the subway was pretty rad.
That weird Cheech Marin cameo when the Titanic ghost, because the boat had a ghost.
Okay, look, I love Cheech and Chong as much as the X guy, but also sometimes I just don't get it at the same time.
Mm.
That makes sense?
I mean, there's parts of it I know that, like, I know it's funny, but it's not funny to me because I'm white and not Chicano. I mean, is it like that what you mean? Or
No, not at all. I find a lot of that humor like super funny, but just like him in Ghostbusters 2 where his face going, huh? That was it. And people are laughing, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I know it's Cheech, but what he just did is not that funny. Like, I don't get it.
I'll give you that, but when you made that face, I was like, oh, I know that Cheech face, and yeah, that's
Remember when Cheech Marin was every voice when they need a weird cartoon Mexican like ever from like 1972 to impossibly to 2011? Like he was.
I'm pretty sure they're still doing that. They just let George Lopez have some now too.
I like George Lopez, but my favorite Cheech Marin post Cheech and Chong, or non Cheech and Chong, is from Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh,
his speech outside of he's like, we got that pussy, apple pie pussy. If you can find a pussy anywhere, fuck you.
Ironically, he's that guy and had a weird run with Disney. He was the Chihuahua and Oliver and Company and one of the hyenas in The Lion King. Like,
isn't that Don Johnson?
It's just that voice character actor market. Like,
don't get me wrong, I like the guy. I like Cheech. I get it, but there's just certain things that are just like, that's not that.
It's one of those things where it's ruined by the fans of it. Like weed people ruin Cheech and Chong and weed comedy and we like it's like
weed as much as the next guy, but weed culture can eat a dick. It's
I love weed more than the next guy, and I hate weed culture and weed people.
Yeah.
Like it's to a level of the way Michelangelo is with pizza. It's like, we know you like it. You don't have to make it the central focus of every discussion we have.
Yeah.
You're also ninjas. Can we talk about that?
We're also ninjas. That's impressive in and of itself. Stop trying to make a personality around the fucking snacks you eat, idiot.
Yeah.
Like, come up with some new shit. Come up with a personality.
It's
like the people that have never read anything but Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And so
those are the only books.
Yeah.
It's their only identity. It's the only pop culture. It's the only franchise.
So they play Quidditch and and they have a wand that chose them.
Lord of the Rings, same thing. Yeah.
At
Star
least
Wars, same thing.
Yeah.
All fandoms kind of suck, and
at least,
like
beyond a point, yeah.
At least Lord of the Rings fans, because a friend of mine's really big into the Lord of the Rings. They do a thing, they don't argue the way like Star Wars fans. They have quiet forums amongst themselves, and they have scholarly debate about a 100-year-old book. It's great. They're like, well, I think technically what the professor, that's what they call Professor Tolkien, the professor, when they refer to him when they're talking.
Oh shit, is this going to be Scientology again? Like,
it's so great.
It's so Jesus Christ.
And they talk about like,
this is how it happens, guys.
But it's great because it's not me yelling at people that the prequels suck. Like, it's
Right. Movies is a different audience because you don't have to use your brain.
Well, especially
it's mostly delivered to you, right? Most of the information is delivered, and it's crazy impactful. Movies are, but a book you have to make the movie in your own head.
Star Wars are also unique because Star Wars is generational now. It's the 70s to 80s, the 90s to 2000s, and now 2010s all have their Star Warses divorced of each other and together. It's not like Lord of the Rings, where like Lord of the Rings was written before any of us were born. I mean, J.R.R. Tolkien fought in World War I.
Kind of vaguely knew about it, but it was like same.
I read it in high school.
The same amount of knowledge I had about Dungeons and Dragons. Right. I knew it was a thing. I didn't know much about it.
I read it in high school. I read because I stumbled onto Dungeons and Dragons. I remember one of my aunts had the old red box, and I found it when I visited once. So I was fucking with it. And so whenever we'd have projects at school where you got to go to the library and do a book report, I was always like looking for fantasy books, and there wasn't a big. You got those and like the Ursula, what's her name? The Earthsea books, Wizard of Earthsea, all that. Ursula, what is her name? She's an author.
My brain goes to Anne McCaffrey, but I know
that's another one.
Fucking. Because there's always those. There is always the Shannara books.
Lloyd Alexander, Ursula K. Le Guin. That's who I was trying to think of.
Guin. There you go. Yeah.
But yeah, so I tried to read all those. I remember very little of them now, but I remember reading Lord of the Rings in like high school, and it was such a big task, especially my high school brain.
Well, I started reading them. I'm of that movie era, right? So I prefer movies, to book, but I would, read occasionally and all of that. But or at least I'm capable of reading. But anyway, I started reading the book after the first film came out. I was like, oh shit, I got to read that. And so I read it, and it kind of disappointed me for the next two movies because I made a better movie in my head when I was reading it than what I saw on the screen. You know,
and part of it too is that the writing style changes between the books in a weird way. Like The Hobbit is actually a fun, easy read for a kid.
It's short, sweet.
Yeah, and it's perfect.
But I love the Rankin Bass. The greatest, before my wife introduced me to that, that was great. That old animation and shit. I love that.
That's the one I grew up with. I had a brother that made sure that I read these in middle school and got D&D stuff and all that. I couldn't get through Fellowship of the Ring because it's long and tedious.
It's a tough
But then I skipped it to the Two Towers and it's awesome as hell.
Two Towers is a fucking action movie. Two Towers is fucking Empire
the
Strikes
book,
Back.
but yeah.
The book is, yeah.
I mean, I really like the movies a lot. They're a different thing than the books. I think the most important element of the movies was how they were made and the casting and the weird bond the cast of those movies had to go through.
Sure.
It's a very
But here's my one qualm with the movies versus the books, all right? The way the Two Towers ends is a perfect way to end a dark movie where Shelob just fucking murders Frodo. You think Frodo's dead and it's Samwise running off, right? That's the end of Two Towers. That's how the movie should have ended. That is a cliffhanger. Fucking you're
an
gonna
Empire
see.
Strikes Back.
But also, and it parallels.
But then they had this other extra bullshit added Silmarillion bullshit. I was like, "Fuck! You ruined this. You ruined it for me."
Every author that fills in too much info ruins it. J.K. Rowling's been doing the same thing online for a while now.
Yeah.
Once you try to over analyze things and overly explain things and overly fill things in. It's just the magic.
The two camps of like Stephen King's version of Shining versus Kubrick's, but I grew up on Kubrick, and I understand what I'm missing. I haven't read that. I should read it, but there's like that camp that's like, oh, the book is infinitely better because of all those details. I'm like, but are those details necessary? Because this thing is still effective. This version of the story, right?
Well,
I don't know.
Like I can even using the same Kubrick.
I can see both arguments. Yeah.
Like I haven't read the book of The Shining. Like my example that I can speak to is I've read the book of A Clockwork Orange, which is also wildly different. Well, not so wildly different.
There's just like a handful of scenes that are like wildly different. Yeah, different tone.
But I prefer the movie's interpretation of it because the parts in the book that are left out.
Same thing with
they changed the meaning in a way that is more mature and more what we as adults see as maturity. But I think the movie just illustrates it better by keeping it keeping only the juvenile parts.
Yeah. I agree. The other one was Fear and Loathing. There's like two scenes in the Fear and Loathing book that don't really quite make it in the film, but it's the two scenes in the book that kind of drag a little bit.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's just interesting to hear.
It's describing how a drug feels and how can you do that on screen.
Well, sometimes it's a matter of like.
They did pretty well in that movie, actually.
Whenever the director or writer explains why they changed something, that can be interesting. It's weird when it feels arbitrary or whatever, because sometimes it can be changed for a point or moved for a point. That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, like MCU stuff, they seem to change a lot, and for the better, and that's great. And people don't seem to argue about it as much for some reason. But a lot of it stems from, having to go from fluorescent tights to in the real world and can actually do these things.
Now, I do think if Lord of the Rings,
you have to ground it a little bit.
I do think if Lord of the Rings came out now in the current climate, it is much better suited for like a Netflix series or a Disney
series, a Game of Thrones. But, right after Game of Thrones, if there was a Lord of the Rings,
only reason Game of Thrones stands on any success is because of Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings.
Because of
that made fantasy viable. Fantasy. I just mean, even as in the 80s, they tried some.
Yeah, Krull. I like, but that movie's a piece of shit.
But they never did.
It was super hard.
They never did good enough to justify that budget to Krull and Willow and Conan, sorta, kinda. But Lord of the Rings.
I mean, you had Excalibur that I think was a pretty well received.
It was well received, but it just gets forgotten, and studios are out. And then when Peter Jackson says, "Here's what I need to make Lord of the Rings," like it was such a gamble. And like Lord of the Rings came out,
That's New Line Cinema too,
and it came out concurrently with Harry Potter, and those two hit right there, like within baton passing distance of each other, and made fantasy viable and popular with a generation like that is now going in. And Game of Thrones gets big. Now you could do a Lord of the Rings streaming series, which is but I think the movies themselves are necessary to get here. And I love it. Like I said, you can't beat Ian McKellen as Gandalf. Like the casting is so perfect in those movies, and they're so warm and
the first time I get choked up and emotional is right after in Fellowship when Gandalf talks to Frodo and he has to bounce. He's like, "Oh, I got to check some shit out," and that music, like when he's just like, "Oh shit."
That is the best.
When he goes to the Ivory, city, and it's all storming. He's going to the library. Just that whole scene of like, oh shit's about to happen before you even know. Like that scene is epic.
It's easily the best non-John Williams score for a movie is the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But yeah, just like when Boromir dies, the whole my captain, my king shit. Like it's so.
I feel like a Fellowship as a book is sluggish, but Fellowship is honestly
it's my favorite movie
of the movies
because it's just so much. Yeah, because from there on, everyone gets splintered, and it's 4 subplots at that point.
Plus, there's a lot more. Just some of the special effects kind of present themselves a little more. Like I felt like Fellowship was a real tight road movie, basically.
And Fellowship, it just has the feel to it. Like it balances the dread and despair with like
the characters and the
warm nature of it. Like it's so good.
And then there's still a lot of hope.
And there's just a bunch of giant CGI people. Right. It's just like you kind of start losing the connection.
Man, you get Christopher Lee as an evil wizard. That's never wrong. Like
fucking wizard fight, fucking just spinning around on his head.
Yeah. It's kind of the movie that established Ian McKellen as America's granddad. Like you just want to sit down and have him tell you like life.
Oh, that's Morgan Freeman. Yeah. Ian McKellen's the weird gay uncle. Like he comes in from Spain, and you want to talk to him about Europe. You want to talk to him and
the Gandalf role, just giving you spitting advice about hating where you are at your moment in time, and he's so soft yet like got that weird wizard stern strictness to him. I love him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I said this a long time ago on Twitter, but he's the reason that I want my grandkids to call me Grandolph.
And then his bromance with Patrick Stewart is one of the best things that's ever happened in pop culture. Like,
it is so beautiful. Like, I would watch a TV show of them, but I don't want them to ruin it by overexposing it.
No, I want an old school laugh track fucking sitcom with those two, like a multicam, like
a full on Odd Couple type thing.
Then like just Roseanne, but with those two, like but in their world, or like multicam, real shitty TV. Yeah. What shenanigans would those two get into? What would be a plot? Let's do a pilot. Let's write a pilot episode of this TV show. All right. So they live together, right? They're not a couple. They're just bros, right?
Or wacky neighbors, so that they each get like a spouse character.
Ooh, Neighbors is pretty good.
What about if
they're both single?
They
no,
live
they're
together
both widowers.
because they're both empty nesters, or they've lost their wives or something.
Yeah, they're both empty nesters. Yeah, that's
you write that down. Right, you did the write that down finger.
And then Ian McKellen can be the gay empty nester,
eccentric. Yeah,
yeah.
He's always got fantastic stories about like riding a Clydesdale with like in the Kremlin or some shit, and he's always got like weird stories. Like
that was my pitch, by the way, for a remake of Three's Company in the modern era. We talked about it on one of the Cinemolos, I think, because remember the old Three's Company had kind of a problematic plot structure that Jack Tripper had to pretend to be gay so that his roommate or his landlord would be okay with him staying with 3 women.
Yeah. Also, hey, landlord, you don't get to fucking decide. Like, you don't get to do that. Like, you just can't. And whether you're gay or not is none of your business.
So
can they pay the rent? Great. Did their credit pass? Cool.
But if you remade it now to make it more socially relevant, you make it where he actually is gay, but he has to pretend to be straight, living around these women.
Oh,
So his landlord doesn't freak out. And then he has that guy who's his playboy best friend, becomes his gay lover he's secretly with, but he has to pretend to be into these chicks when the homophobic landlord's around.
I could see that being a good show. It wouldn't be Three's Company, and it wouldn't be a comedy, probably.
I mean, no, you still do all the dumb sitcom stuff.
What if you remade Three's Company a la DC Comics and made it like really dark, like
depressing?
It's super depressing.
Oh, we talk about it on. We did that Cinemolos on the '66 Batman, which is a great discussion, by the way. I really want to post that this entirety. But we talk about how great it would be to do the Batman 1966 style for the villains that never got it, like Bane. Yeah. Like he does the backbreaker with a big snap. We're talking about the 1960s, the Punisher, but in 1960s. Wheeze. Taking more grim, dark, gothic characters and just doing such kooky. The 60s Batman.
So they had Mr. Freeze. Scarecrow.
Yeah, that'd be a great one. Yeah. Bane is the best one. If it's just the Tom Hardy Bane, but goofy and campy.
Killer Croc would be sweet.
Yeah. Wear a big alligator mask.
No. Yeah. Man Bat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Firefly or whatever the fire dude.
Firefly or Killer Moth. Yeah. They could also do like the Heath Ledger style Joker with the creepy mouth cut, but he's still like the kooky, like as long as you do
you can still see the mustache under the makeup.
That'd be awesome.
Throwing orange slices at I know that
1960s style The Punisher just made me laugh so hard.
Dude.
Actually, I mean Victor Zsasz from the comics, the serial killer that puts a notch on him. Every time he kills somebody, that'd be sweet in a 60s style.
Tallyman. I hated him in Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, where you got to keep doing his goddamn missions while you're doing something else and your phone rings. Like, I'm across town. I'm going to kill someone. Like,
dude, can you just fucking chill out? Really? No, pay attention to me.
About to punch Two-Face in both faces, and I got to get on my goddamn rooftop and hang glide over to your side of town.
Yeah, and get in the car, do this, solve a puzzle, and shimmy up here to come down here. That was the Pig Boy guy, right? Or was that in the last game?
I only played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I missed the ones that followed it.
I haven't played the game.
In Arkham City,
Knight, which was the best one. Yeah, he was like a Pig Boy killer. He was like a serial killer.
In Arkham City, you had to get to phone booths in time, within a certain amount of time.
That's right.
And then each time you got to one, each time you would get to one, you would trace the call a little more till the last one you could actually go to his lair and just, it was so gratifying.
Oh yeah, and just just ground and pound him. Just
the combat in the Batman Arkham games is so satisfying.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. You could chain together combos, throw dudes into other dudes. It's like, oh, you want your head in his asshole? Done.
Just puts dudes in traction. And I love because you get your little detective vision, and so you find people with X-rays, and it shows their heart rate. And it's so funny because you beat them down, and it's just their heart rate's like 32 beats a minute. Like, no, he's dead. Yeah, I put bat explosive gel on his chest so that when his friends came to find him, I could blow them. And you look around at 32 beats a minute. Batman does not kill.
Yeah, does not kill. They're all fine. They're just really sleepy.
His machine is just programmed to tell him 32 beats a minute, even if they're dead. It's just for his I have killed no one. And no one's like, Batman.
What if he had the wrong?
32 beats a minute's a stroke, by the way.
Still. Yeah. What if it was more like an EKG and their blood pressure and cholesterol were high, so he just runs around and beats people up with celery, because everybody's got high cholesterol in Gotham City, eating hot dogs and.
Your superhero that beats people with celery reminds me of if what's his name with the frizzy hair and the Rockin' to the Oldies.
Oh,
Richard Simmons. If Richard Simmons was a fucking superhero.
Yeah.
If Richard Simmons was Bruce Lee
and robbing banks,
but instead of nunchucks, he's got 2 celery sticks, and he's like doing that move, like in the Game of Death. But he's instead of fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he's fighting cream cheese on a bagel.
Richard Simmons is funny because
I think you just wrote a children's movie that I want to see.
Kareem cheese.
A headcanon I have, if you look at like Richard
It's
Simmons.
a bagel with a dashiki on.
If you look at Richard Simmons like in his prime, and he's got like that hair, like when he was most active. He looks like
first of all, Richard Simmons was always in his prime.
He looks like Teller from Penn and Teller in an alternate life. Like he's got a side gig when he's not with the quiet man for Penn. He's this very noisy aerobicizer. That's what his face looks like to me.
I always thought he was Grizzly Adams with his beard shaved.
Grizzly
I thought he looked kind of like if he wasn't doing such a happy shtick, he would be a sad person. Like he has that.
I think he is. He escaped the limelight. He's got some dark. Yeah, there's and good for him. I mean, he chose to bow out. He's still alive, but he just shows like eh.
We should do an episode dedicated to just problematic old things. Because the more I'm thinking about, like my brain started walking down like the TV land tree. You know what else is a very bad thing? Was we're talking about like for whatever reason we talked about being a sad person in real life and being weird. I thought of Alan Funt or whoever did the
candid
camera stuff. That wouldn't really fly today of the complete coercion like spy camera humor.
There was also the VHSs I would rent with my buddies in middle school, which was naked candid camera, which was just like some secretary and the guy's like, I'm here for a job, and she's like, here's my titties, and and that's the joke.
That's just recording someone changing clothes and then selling it as a tape.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't prank culture and prank videos kind of the same thing?
It's a thing. This one just feels dirtier.
The bar moves. Like I think bum fights is like the lowest of the low, and like
I also think prank comedy.
Yeah, you got bum fights and faces of death, of course. Though those are
I also hate prank comedy. My line for it is Sacha Baron Cohen because he's a genius at it. But I hate regular prank. I like Jackass stuff where, like, I went into the hardware store.
I like Jackass. Jackass is hard not to laugh at.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it prank stuff necessarily.
They're pranking each other, but they're buddies.
But they also do prank stuff too.
Right, but they prank each other. And,
they also like they go to a hardware store and just take a dump in the display toilet. That's just everyone's problem. Like they just
shooting yourself with a taser, which was on the first episode, is not a prank. But flipping the porta potty that someone's in upside down, absolutely a prank.
Yeah. I mean, I think that gets past the prank and becomes assault. Pranks require a punchline.
I mean, I've read a bit about Bam Margera. I can absolutely see wanting to assault him for a living. So
yeah. Like he's assaulting all of those mozzarella sticks. Jesus Christ, Bam. God damn.
Assaulting all of those natty lights.
Who was that wrestler? Bam Bam back in the 80s? Bam Bam Margera, right? Wasn't it? Bam Bam. No.
Bam Bam Bigelow?
Bam Bam Bigelow. Yeah. Bam Margera is trying to become Bam Bam Bigelow. Right? It's like maybe he's a time
Margera.
Maybe he's got Benjamin Buttons. Bam Bam Bigelow was the old version, and he's getting older but younger. All I'm saying is Bam Margera and Bam Bam Bigelow are the same dude, but Benjamin Button style.
At some point, that became a really awesome mushrooms argument.
Right. It's got to weird
nowhere. Which neither of them eat, by the way. None of them eat mushrooms on like a salad or maybe on a pizza. They might sneak one in occasionally. That's the closest
I mean,
thing
it's
to
not a vegetable, so you should be able to still be fat and eat it. It is a fungus, not a vegetable.
True. So I just discovered this TV show existed. I have no memory of it. Do you, Matt, Dan?
I know nothing of it.
Yeah, I remember I watched the show when it was on.
Oh, you mean the actual show Swamp Thing, like the "Do not bring your evil here."
Yeah, it's one of those things where he's only on like a few minutes an episode and stuff, but the rest is filled.
I have no recollection, but I have a vague recollection, but I'm like maybe it's implanted in my brain because
here's 100% of what I know. Do not bring evil here. That's all I know.
And for me, kind of like another important point is this is kind of that late 80s period where we were starting to get like a trickle of superhero stuff in pop culture. Like we had the Superboy TV series.
That same era of TV, like remember the Friday the 13th, the series that had nothing to do with Jason Voorhees.
Because that was all just trying to
Freddy Krueger. He was kind of in there-ish.
It was trying to coattail off Tales from the Crypt and Twilight Zone and stuff like that of a spooky show that had the host. And what's that?
Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah, like those shows, they were like cheap. They just tried to use the Nightmare on Elm Street brand and the other brand to make a show like that on basically sitcom budget because they didn't have to put Freddy in it. Just creepy stuff happened.
Could you imagine like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre like sitcom? like
Leatherface is like hosting.
That's his host segment.
If they did a show based on the Leatherface family from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, that would be awesome. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, they're like, damn it, Billy, like the grandpa and shit. Oh god, that would be
Chop Top is in it.
Because Marvel especially tried because there was the Batman 60s and it was like the Donner Superman movies in the 80s kind of made a push for this flavor of low special effects superhero content.
No. I think because of Batman's popularity, there was the trickle down with like cheap product. It was like, okay, what properties can we kind of bring out? Like Swamp Thing, Flash. What was some other ones?
That's what I'm trying to think of now. Yeah, there was the Flash one.
Yeah, there was the Flash. There
Mantis,
was Superboy.
some of those like
offshoot,
like Sam Raimi, Bob Tapper. Like
I mean, yeah, it was Lou Ferrigno Hulk is what I was thinking of with
Guyver or whatever, and then
there was the 60, 70 Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah, Hulk, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman. It's always been around.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's always been around. Huh.
Yeah, well, it just seems like it used to be there'd be like maybe one or two things a year that would
it never had a superhero feel though. It had a dude in a costume feel.
Yeah.
They could never bring, because the big superhero movie until '89 was the Christopher Reeve Superman was the best you had for that. Like that I could think of off the top of my head. Like that was the gold star.
That was groundbreaking. That was
the standard. And TV shows wanted that feel, but they didn't have the budget for a TV show and so it was just the Wonder Woman chick spinning around and in the suit and then just fighting with her fists like a regular.
I remember renting a lot when I was super, super little out of the clamshell VHS cassette, the Vulture Man.
Wasn't there?
Which is like an Italian.
I remember that, yeah.
Wasn't there a shitty Captain America, or was that a movie?
That was a TV movie.
That was a
with
Canon
Reb
Films
Brown.
movie. Yeah.
I own the DVD. It's like 2 movies in one.
It's actually not too bad.
The big motorcycle.
No, it's
helmet
bad,
on.
but it's definitely 70s.
Well, I mean for what it is.
That shitty plastic shield.
Yeah. Although there were shows like Greatest American Hero that kind of.
It's not Vulture Man. What is it? It's like an Italian. It's not Vulture Man.
Is it Condor Man?
Condor Man.
Because I know what you're talking about. Because you're saying the clamshell tape. Yeah,
dude.
That's it.
Look at this shit. Hold up, Matt. We're gonna get nostalgia boners here.
I think this is a gimmick thing.
Who can save Princess Juliet? Held captive by the evil Count Lorca. Who can save the city? Who?
Reminds me of Marjo Gortner in Star Crash. Yeah, the way he talks and acts.
That vehicle is awesome. That's why I like it. These cars are cool. Right? It's got Night Rider.
Yeah, dude, that car coming out
right?
reminds me of when the dude pulls the condom off for the money shot at the end of the porn flick.
They sucker for badass cars in movies. I'm sorry. Like James Bond cars, fucking Night Rider, Batmobile.
Do you hear? He is not an agent of the CIA. He is a writer of comic books.
Is that Oliver Reed?
Yeah.
Oliver Reed, like a motherfucker, dude. Anything he's in is amazing.
Well, how can we escape?
Because of him.
Oh, sure. Yep. That's what's up.
I'm sorry I had to get so violent. But it was the only
I
language.
did notice the dude in the eye patch, too.
Lasers and shit. Look at it.
I know that I rented this more than once, but I recalled none of it.
I was probably like 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
And that weird fucking Third Reich fucking logo.
I'm hunting this down.
and also she was a smoke show too.
Yeah. So you remember when condors breathed fire?
Remember when condors are like mostly extinct?
Yeah, it's a weird pull for your animal superhero identity.
What's that weird Tasmanian tiger? Or Tasmanian
Dingo?
Tasmanian devil?
Yeah, the one that's extinct. Tasmanian something or other. It's like a weird almost like a hyena coyote type of with tiger stripes.
Sounds cool.
You know what else is
get
cool?
to the bottom of this.
Swamp Thing. Pretty love the video quality.
I believe you're thinking of Tasmanian tiger, quite literally.
Yes.
By last scene, more specifically.
Man, I'm still thinking about Condor Man. I'm gonna go fuck off and watch that right now.
Okay, how badass was the Swamp Thing movie though? It's kind of dated, but it's Wes Craven.
Well,
dude, Adrian Barbeau is like OG villain.
Oh, dude, Adrian Barbeau, yeah.
Adrian Barbeau, the hair, all of it, right? Escape from New York, The Fog, that movie, Creep Show. Like, come on.
Like, the thing that stuck out to me, when right before you hit play and your cursor was over the progress bar and you could see the preview.
Hang on.
I saw her hair and I was like, oh yeah, her.
It is what I am.
That voice.
I was once a man.
Sounds like
I know the evil men do. Do not bring your evil here. I warn you. Do not incur the wrath of Swamp Thing.
He calls himself Swamp Thing? That's weird.
Yeah.
You'd think other people like, oh, that's Swamp Thing.
He was a result of a fucking accident. He doesn't like his current form. He's trying to fix himself, right?
I know nothing about it. It's just funny to me that he calls himself Swamp Thing as his like superhero name.
Well, yeah, he was a scientist, right? Okay,
well, because he calls himself that because that's what we know him as. It's just funny to me.
Also, this kid's got a 90,000-pound VHS because like on a robot. What parent would trust this kid? Those things were like $1,000.
Yeah, that's
give it to this little fucking acid wash jeans, fucking toe-headed piece of shit. Look at this. I'm gonna smack it. He's not even wearing his vest. I hate this kid.
Yeah. Wait. He lives where there's alligators, but he's not sweating. I'm calling bullshit.
Man, these gators really are creative.
Yeah.
He's gotta string people out his bed.
Oh, no. Yeah. See, that's what happens. You should have bought the extended warranty.
That could have been college for that kid. It was expensive.
Also,
in the 80s.
Also, solid catch by Swamp Thing there.
Was he just sleeping?
He was just like, oh, sweet.
Now his friends are totally not going to believe that he found the crucifixion of St. Andrew.
Yeah, Swamp Thing was just like, I wished for a Panasonic 200 whatever last night.
Like,
and it
nice. Oh, fuck beta. God damn it.
Sweet theology, dick. Oh, God.
Can you drop the RCA cables? I'm hooking this up to my TV. Oh, whoa.
More like Peter Stinklage.
If the monster did it to me, fight out, I'd survive.
It looks like him, but dirty. It's like a hobo Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. Oh, look at this douche nozzle. Ugh.
Is he just driving down a sidewalk?
I think he's driving like in Disney World, like the shops and stuff.
I'm going your way.
I was just about to phone my daughter. I didn't expect
She's a Swamp Thing.
This much.
Oh my gosh, the 80
God,
yards.
look at his shoulder pads. Jesus Christ, is he a linebacker?
I need you to fill this up with 5 gallons of green beans here in the back.
I still haven't met that very special lady.
Let me get your nasty old lady soggy groceries and put them in my solid white
how many
fucking
hours?
911 Turbo Porsche here.
How many hours a day does you have to spend to keep that thing that white and pristine?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Also, can we just acknowledge the hair for a moment? What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. And he keeps it that way with the top down?
Yeah, like that's straight up Kurt Russell hair. Like
He does
that's
4 cans of moose a day.
that's Kurt Russell in his prime hair.
That's like Andrew McCarthy as my Uber driver.
His soul
documenting the swamp.
Hi, honey, I'm home.
Yeah, he caused the hole in the ozone layer.
I found this dwarf in the swamp.
I put him there for a reason, Billy.
There's a monster hunting him out to die. I cut him free, but he was too scared to come here to eat.
I told you about bringing midgets home.
Can I keep him?
He said he was ravenous.
I put a saucer of milk out and everything, Ma.
You said there'd be no more lies down here.
Seriously, there is a decrepit hobo
Sword
man in our basement.
Now what?
Also, put the fucking lid on the peanut butter, you little shit. Money doesn't grow on trees. Little.
Here's your own stuff.
I made this for you.
Before I start sneezing, I have some very amusing allergies.
Does he have one frosted tip? Like just the one?
Do we all know each other? What's happening? I thought this was where is
dude.
It is tricky that so many plots to the show will involve getting people near a swamp.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna watch him pee.
I hope Swamp Thing has to fight Florida Man.
No, he's just got like a weird eating thing. He just goes out and eats chips in the woods by himself. And so Swamp Thing was.
How many peanut butter sandwiches did he make?
Like, that's a fundamental flaw in the premise of having a show about swamp. Like, Batman, the police have a phone and a floodlight to call Batman when there's a problem.
Yeah.
No one cares about Swamp Thing, and they have to go to the swamp to bring him out.
Yeah, because people are like, oh, I got to go to like Louisiana and shit. And like, nah, just let him. He's fine.
Like, Swamp Thing can't stop the Joker from robbing a bank. He doesn't know how to go there. He doesn't have a car.
No, he just solves crime and on and around the swamp.
Yeah.
Like that. Dragging a little guy around.
Yeah, he's there to solve groundwater problems.
Yeah.
He's friends with Aaron Brockovich.
Yeah.
He's
there needs to be a Swamp Thing Aaron Brockovich team-up movie.
Oh, look at this little fucking...
Man, they went all in on the little person budget.
You want to start some shit?
That might be a child.
You want to go? Man, baboons are a problem.
Fuck your groceries.
Where's your NBA cards, huh?
Got any more? How much you got?
Yeah. You got bubble tape? What's up with some bubble tape?
Ah, it's real. I thought it was a wig.
Give me that.
Oh, shit,
Chaka? Land of the Lost is getting dark.
Yeah. He seems like pretty chill about it. Oh, hey.
Don't mind me. I'm just watching.
Sorry, I was peeing.
Hey. Thanks for saving me from that thing.
Thanks.
You guys remember that day in drama class in high school when the teacher was just like, be a tree? Fucking Swamp Thing? This actor?
He's fucking Daniel Day-Lewis in the shit out of it.
He graduated that day, sir.
Yeah.
I like how this kid has no further questions about anything he's encountering.
Yeah.
I'm still like, who was the little alien guy? Why
are you that? What is this? Is this real? Is Santa even a thing anymore? Jesus Christ.
I'm going to tell my mom we need to move further from the swamp.
Yeah.
Compliments at Dr.
Yeah. Dude's hit him with Billy Jacks.
You mean he mutated or something?
I haven't seen a real Blackjack outside of a Bugs Bunny cartoon, I think, ever.
I'm from Philadelphia. See?
Born and raised on the
I like to think they're sitting
Breakfast
still
my
and then
day.
the tree is moving in between them.
I sneaked out after my mother
They're on a
goes to bed.
treadmill.
Like they're going.
They're
so
on
far.
they're on their way in the Woods Airport. They're on that little thing that you just stand on for no damn reason and kind of will go faster.
I love that there's this most dangerous game going on with this midget. You just got to catch him, crucify him, knock him out. Like what is?
Yeah, what the hell? Also, is he the Rasputin of little guys? Like, can he not die? Is he like the villain and they're all like really trying to end this and he just can't die?
I mean, that was a 3-pound piece of rubber that he beat him with. He's gonna get up, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Also walking really close, very handsy with that kid there, Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
I can hear the ocean.
Oh, he's still carbonated. Get a straw.
Here, let me take care of this. I'm a doctor.
I'm Dr. Swamp.
Look how
I'm
little
a chiropractor. I'm a weird swamp critter chiropractor. I basically massage alligator skulls all day. I don't know what I'm doing. That's
There, now it's all minty.
Yeah, it's squishy now. Oh shit! I think like a plant, man.
See, that's what that kid should have done earlier. He's after me, Lucky Charms.
I think I'd run away from that guy before I'd run away from Swamp Thing.
Go now. That path. Hurry.
Suppose he doesn't make it. This swamp is
Me. The swamp is me. I am the swamp.
Okay. Who is that?
I love the set of this show is them moving around 7-potted plants.
Yeah, they're at the hardware store in the plant section, just roaming around filming.
You try to kill something in this swamp.
No, look at the ground. That's just the parking lot.
Yeah.
Just a dwarf.
It ain't illegal to kill dwarves in this state.
They don't count as a person unless they're 4'11" minimum. You know
Why
that.
does he not give a fuck about Swamp Monster? He's like, you tried to kill that dwarf. He's like, I'll try to do it again, you swampy bastard. I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
I don't
Look
care
at
what
me,
you
I'm
are.
cool. I'm black, denim, head to toe, motherfucker.
Okay.
I just downed 3 bottles of fucking Tiny Jack Daniels. You don't talk to me like you're green. Yeah, I look like Jello Biafra.
You smell like poop. Smell like poop.
He does look like Jello Biafra. Well,
right. Wait. So he murders the dude violently by having trees go through his
love that he had
DNA?
the shirt with the tree texture on breaking out over under his shirt. That was really funny looking.
Also, they did the Evil Dead reverse.
It looks like the Outworld on Mortal Kombat 2.
Oh, yeah.
Weird twisted statues.
I think if you're Zelda, you go in there for the tree and get the
yeah.
whatever. Oh, no.
I got wood.
Wait, are we sure Swamp Thing's not the villain?
Right? That's kind of horrifying, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
That fucking haircut's the villain. Christ.
Normally I pick up old ladies, but you'll do today.
Where'd she leave her groceries?
I gotta feed you the old lady.
Who is this guy?
Bring the hot.
Yeah, you can't feed them when they come to the porch or they come back.
A director had to give the direction. All right, put the hot dog in your mouth and then flail with your arms, but keep the hot dog flopping in your mouth the whole time. And action.
My. Nobody knows.
No, cut. You dropped the hot dog, Steve. Damn it, come on.
Is that a wiener in your mouth or you're just happy to see me?
No.
Like,
What
are we at least getting Burt Reynolds on a fan boat or what?
Yeah.
Just thinking about taking a
Get a Paula Deen apology here pretty soon, or what?
Well, it's time. The taxi will be a while yet.
Is that Paul Hogan? Is that old lady Paul Hogan? Is that old lady Crocodile Dundee?
Let Jim stay here this summer. But you have to go back. You do important work.
Is that a Rasta fly up there?
But what does he have to go back to?
Yeah, smoke you up. You die unwasted.
There's no friends at all.
Commercial.
He can make them, but his lying drives them away. I don't know why he lies. I took him to the best child psychologist on the market.
Yep, the results came back. It's definitely cancer.
Father was a liar too.
And you did your fair share when you were his age.
Estradiol vaginal cream.
You remember that heart-shaped emerald that your father and I gave you for your 12th birthday?
Side effect.
You told us it was stolen.
You lied to me.
Carelessly.
Why did I just notice that they're both wearing the exact same lip gloss?
I'm telling the truth.
That's just really distracting me now.
Help me find my way back to my children.
Making out like.
Now you're bad for him.
Oh, man.
He needs time off from you. Give it to him.
What is this show about?
What's she looking up and down at?
Gardening.
What is the... So, like, we're almost through the first episode, according to the bar down there.
I likes Poon.
What, So, classic example of Batman. The villain does a crime. Then Batman investigates the crime and stops the villain. Then that's the episode. Like, what's happening here?
Carolyn.
Well, yeah, traditionally the structure is he gets captured and then
that's
towards the plan. Where is the... I don't know.
You just had a bunch of scripts, like, and then take a couple of pages as a Swamp Thing on it and just slide them in at random in the script. Like, because I think that's how...
Hey, Jason, your microphone's messing up. You're cutting out and...
Yeah, you're a little in and out.
Lost you about the last 30 seconds or so.
No?
I hear you lightly.
Sounds like something came unplugged or is loosely unplugged.
Da-da-da-da-da.
There you go.
All right. What I was saying is, it's like people took like a bunch of demo scripts and then just took a couple of pages that say Swamp Thing on them and then just randomly throw them in the script and said, "Here you go." That's what this is like.
So this is my house. It's a cave. Sorry. I roommate with Yoda.
Yeah. I'm roommates with the fucking Kiefer Sutherland Dracula in Lost Boys. Whatever his name was. Sutherland
cool.
Dracula. Look at that goddamn Dracula. That's Grandma Dracula back there.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know he's in the shot back there. He's like, hello. Hello.
Excuse me.
Am I supposed to be in the shot? I don't know my lines.
Guys, I'm just a keymaster over here.
Glorious.
Just trying to find...
Master of time. Come on.
Oh, hello.
I would like a hug. Can I hug? Hug.
Let me touch your hair.
It's hard to believe.
He forgot how to clap. It's fine.
Humans, you and I.
Just fuck that guy.
I don't know that one. He just showed up.
Terrifying.
Translocation of phenomenal genetic material from one species to another. Did I
So when does Luke Skywalker fall through the ceiling and kill that big thing?
Age 19. A genius. Imagine.
There's a light that's not supposed to be in that shot.
This is a really bottom of the alphabet category of...
Like, that light, it needs to be about 2 feet back because it is in the shot.
Not delicious dish.
Gurney was there the whole time.
Into a normal sized man, but he's
Wow.
having a bit of deja vu. You shouldn't have survived my goon's headbreaker, Humphrey.
It wasn't my fault.
Felt. That's a car seat.
brought me back to life.
I can't tell you how sick and tired I am of that Swamp Thing's interference in my affairs.
He's trying to act his dick off in this and be British. He's like, oh, Swamp Thing in my affairs. What are you doing?
You do want to be a normal-sized man.
He's like the Florida Remington Steele.
Whoa,
Yeah.
he's trying to
If
do
this guy does not produce a fucking keytar in the next 5 minutes, I'm shutting this off.
I saw
We're
that.
quitting.
Buster!
Yeah.
You looked at my salacious dish.
She just said he was doing like weird science to make this guy normal size. That's pretty intense.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
I will make giant
Decide, maybe
dwarf.
he's the perfect size. Maybe he's really fun.
That light is
I.e., fun size. So, like, there's a purpose that words exist, sir.
Well, you've had enough punishment for one day, haven't you? What you need for a change is pleasure.
Wait, what?
Really?
Nice.
Well, I'm beginning to get just a little bit sick of all this.
Shut up.
Shut up, what?
She was cool with the dude with the wings. She was fine with the pig-snouted guy. But little person,
Yeah. Oh, shit.
you're on the line.
I love the commitment to his villainy because he still wears his suit to do both evil science and go to a dirty cave. Like,
Yeah.
but I also work at a bank during the day, so
Yeah, I also help old ladies with their groceries.
Yeah.
Oh, also,
Nice.
yeah. So we get a strip show.
Wait, this reminds me a lot of Twin Peaks, like they're in the Red Room.
Rot-row.
You outlived your uselessness.
You've outlived your uselessness. That doesn't make sense. Usefulness. That would be a cut. Do a different take, right? You've outlived your usefulness.
or it's a terrible script. I don't know which.
Yeah. He probably appreciates the credit you're giving him, though.
Yeah, I always had that large T-shirt 3-pack too, that where it looked like a dress.
Wear a belt around the middle like your Link.
Yeah, like a fucking Luke trying to go get. Oh, I'm gonna go get power converter, man. Whatever, fucking on Tatooine.
Hey, Greg, you didn't have to pack all your shirts. You can wear one.
Yeah. Hey, I can see all of your balls.
Oh, take those. No, Janice.
Loosen up on the jean shorts there, Brad.
Hey,
Jesus,
I wish I could stay too.
Mom, I can see all of your balls.
Wait, is that a skirt? Grandma's wearing a skirt.
Yeah, she's wearing a skirt. She's progressive.
It's
Man,
sporty.
I like how they skinned the grandma couch for that dress.
Yeah. She scissored with Joni Mitchell in 1976 in Laurel Canyon. She's progressive, Granny.
You know, I did lose the Emerald Heart, but I found it again.
Yeah. So we're 2 minutes away from the end of the episode. How many times have we seen that goddamn swamp thing?
And I don't know what happened or why or what anything
Are they
is.
considering that water a thing of the swamp? Therefore, ergo, it's a swamp thing?
She's letting me stay. Hey, I'm staying. I'm staying. Yes, I'm staying.
So this whole time I've been wondering if that camcorder still works, or if it got wet and it doesn't work now. Like Swamp Thing theoretically can cause himself to grow rice, which he can then put into a bowl and leave the camcorder in overnight.
Yeah.
They'll fix it.
But that's the end of the goddamn episode. So, what did we learn?
Nothing.
I didn't know that Golden Globus made TV shows.
Oh, it definitely feels like a Golden Globus.
Except it wasn't stupid enough.
Yeah,
It
it
wasn't-
didn't have
it
enough
wasn't-
shit going on.
It's like a Golden Globus without the guns.
Right. It didn't have a guy just killing people for no reason.
Yeah.
It didn't have a Chuck Norris beating the
or,
shit out of Libyans or whatever
Yeah.
brown people we were fighting in the
Yeah.
early 80s.
Oh, it was like Invasion USA where just bad guys show up on a boat and just run into the country.
Okay, what's the one with Robert Forster, who is fantastic?
Love that dude.
He's the bad guy. He's the like Iranian terrorist. They take over an airplane, Delta Force.
Yeah.
Delta Force.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have to fight the airplane or something. I don't remember. It's weird. Chuck Norris on a motorcycle, a la Megaforce. I think it was legit one of the Megaforce motorcycles painted black. Yeah.
Well, that was
and Louis Gossett Jr. in the only thing he'll ever be known for.
Firewalker or Iron Eagle.
Oh, I was thinking Iron Eagle. I had Iron Eagle and Delta Force mixed up. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Iron Eagle is yeah, because there was a guy in there named Chaffee, and I was like, "That's my name, dude." When I was a kid,
Yeah.
I did it.
I did it.
Yay! I got the Bort license plate.
I can't find a keychain at the thing with my name, but at least Louis Gossett Jr. said it.
My dad doesn't love me, but my name's in a movie.
Yeah.